Beardy and the Beast Media Club.
Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. This is a placeholder intro song.
Welcome to the Second Wall, a binge-free zone where we will look at a series and discuss it in small chunks, similar to water cooler conversations of old. We can be found on most podcast and social media platforms, a full list of which can be found at beardyandthebeast.com. Today we'll be discussing the Netflix series Squid Game. With me, of course, is Drew. Please feel free to join the conversation in the comments below.
You just had to kill the ones that you were the closest to at this place, and you're good with that just to get money?
Well, that answers the question without showing the game. That tells me that they played.
Oh, okay, go on.
It was the way
Well, what's the
69
question?
was. So, because 69 is part of that couple.
Yes.
Where,
Oh, so
so
the speculation,
we
what
were
they
talking
did
about,
with the marbles.
yeah. Uh,
So I think it was the question was, did one give uh, marbles to the other, or did they play for them?
yeah. And that interaction implied to me that they played for them.
I'm convinced.
Uh,
Usually I would at least be able to muster in some aspects I could see it this way or that way given this argument, but no.
yeah.
I'm convinced.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
Because he takes that statement like that you had to kill the ones means that, I mean, I could see that phrasing be used if they had exchanged the marbles.
mhm.
However, because 69 hung himself,
Yeah.
that reaffirms the suspicion. So I think
Yeah.
that backs up what you're saying.
Yeah. It didn't come across as just grief of losing his wife.
Mm,
It came across as I had to kill my wife.
yes.
So um, it's something we've talked about before in preview in like Carol and Tuesday, and Cowboy Bebop for that matter, expressing a big complex issue in a few words
Hmm.
or in just a single interaction like that. And it did it very well. It just answered all of my questions. I wanted to know about their story, and they gave that to us in like 30 seconds.
And it
So,
was a loose end that I'm glad that they tied up.
yes. Um, so I guess, uh,
101 and 212.
that is a
Uh,
fitting way to go.
I was unexpected for me.
Oh, it was completely unexpected,
I'm glad it was.
but perfectly in line with where we thought they were going.
Mm,
We figured that somehow they like the fact that 212 came back, she'd get the buy.
yep.
Um, and I mean, it was mentioned like 212 said she was going to take him out. I was expecting some sort of confrontation between them somehow.
Hmm.
The confrontation didn't happen exactly like I expected it to, but it was there. And so, yeah, no, I'm taking you with me. I appreciate that. Um, the Yeah, no, it was fitting. It was exactly what I want. It, it was what I wanted without knowing it's what I wanted.
Yeah, well, she took complete control of that situation
Yeah.
and also defeated her opponent,
Yes.
which had, even before they hooked up, had been 101.
Yeah.
I
And
phrase it that way because the types of manipulation that she was using was definitely to be used on someone you're like a foe that you're trying to control.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, exactly.
trying to tame a lion, you know it's a lion. It's
Yeah.
still dangerous.
Yeah. Um, I didn't write down his number because I didn't think of it. Yes, the last one to die, um, the 13th to go. He, I like how he's like, why would I help them? They've literally done nothing but try to kill me this entire time. When
There's the
he's
most
asked
like
why,
realistic phrasing. I'm
yeah,
like, I like how so that had a very comedic timing to it.
yeah,
So they had the guy originally being like, I can tell which glass is which,
yeah,
and he obviously couldn't.
yeah,
And then they didn't do it in thirds,
yeah,
um, but it had the setup and the punchline structure.
yes,
So when he came up, it's like, oh no, I actually can tell.
yeah.
Screw
Well, and
those guys.
and it's funny because like in my mind, I knew that there would have to be a tell. I didn't know
Mm.
what the tell would be. Um, 456 also kind of alluded to it. I don't think he forgot. He didn't forget which glass panel to go on first. I think he was trying to see if there was a difference between the panels,
Mm.
right?
I mean, I'm fully on board with super smart 456 theory.
Yeah. Um, you know, the fact that he didn't get to test anything, that is what it is.
Well, I think he's
Um,
gonna come into his own, but we'll talk about that.
yeah. Um, I kind of like how the marble came back, even though it didn't end up getting fully realized, which I don't think hurt it when trying to hear the sounds of the glass.
Yeah,
Um, I I did think that was good.
like a little final gift sort of thing.
Yeah. As soon as that he talked about the sound and they did in the lights, like, oh yeah, the marble. 001's gonna come and save the day somehow, and kinda.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that. I have issues with this game.
Uh, hopscotch.
Uh, kinda.
Well, the first thing that before we even talk about the game, uh, uh, there's not really too much to go on about the characters for 456, 67, 218.
No.
It's just reinforcing who they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't expect such a forceful push from
Yeah.
218, but the fact that he pushed was expected, and I
Yeah.
think that the that reveal
Mm,
of the personality trait to 456 will be important.
yeah. Agreed.
Um, that just came to mind, but I realized something that you had mentioned previously,
Mm,
which was the murals on the wall.
mm,
So they had ones like the toffee cutting,
yeah.
but I saw one while it was panning when they were going from 456 to 69.
Yeah.
That slow pan there was something that looked like a balance game.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I wonder if it's going to be like a balance game.
Yeah.
And then it ended up to be this trapeze hopscotch thing.
Yeah. 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 I did notice that. So it was nice that it the gave that nice pan
Mm.
because it did, go say, okay, yeah, no, the games were there if you're paying attention to it. So I like that. It's a nice detail.
The just because we're transitioning to it, let's
Mm,
talk about the game itself now,
yeah.
because it's important what happened to characters. Um, So I'll do things a little bit out of order because I also want to talk about the VIPs, of course.
Mhm.
Um, so what's the issue with the game?
So there's a few places where I had issues. I guess the core of the thing is getting through 6 games.
Yes.
This is I guess, technically the second game, because the very first game had the possibility of everyone dying. This is the only game where it was possible that no one made it across.
Oh, okay.
So I had a theory that ended up not panning out. Um, I honestly expected at least the last third to be all tempered glass.
Ah,
So they'd have something to go into round 6 with. And that's not even accounting for the fact that we had 2 players die outside of just the glass. Right? One person just got pushed off, and of course, 212 and 101.
you think? I think there would have likely been enough players for one person to cross,
I
and
think
no weirdness occurred.
I think there would have been enough tiles for one person to get across if 69 didn't kill himself. Because I'm pretty sure there were 16 panels,
Hmm.
which would have made game 6 a no-go. So it seems
Well, this is the fifth game because they abstained from one. So the next game could have been a solo game.
yeah, a game where just one person plays and wins
Yeah, or
or loses.
loses. I mean, I wouldn't like it, but
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I think you're right with the numbers, though. Uh, yeah,
Yeah. It also bothers me that, and this is probably, and I understand that it's the VIP influence that did this, but it bothers me that they changed the lighting so the guy who found a way to get through couldn't anymore.
yeah, that seems to not be in the spirit of the game.
Yeah, it's the first time they've ever changed the rules of the game.
That'd be like making that team of all strong people choose 7 instead of having the full 10.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it was disabling them in such a way that obviously done for effect
Mhm.
because they essentially they got their path to get through the game, but they also didn't need that character for the rest of the series.
Yeah.
So they had to get rid of them. Uh, sloppy.
Yeah.
Uh, what I think would have been better is if both the last ones. Uh, I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's theoretically possible that there were sets of glass that was tempered in both places throughout, and we just don't see that.
True.
Um, I mean, really, there'd only be, again, an additional 2 instances where you'd be able to test that,
Hmm.
assuming they didn't throw them off. So it's yeah, that's really it. It's this was purely luck. Again, like the it didn't it didn't feel like a winnable game unless you were the last person. And even then, if you're the last person and there were still 17 people.
Yeah.
And that feels
It
wrong to me.
it feels cheap compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
Not everyone had a competing chance.
Yeah.
There was no skill aside from the glass worker. There's no manipulation.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, as far as the games go, this one's probably the least satisfying.
Yeah.
I think they would have been. I think they could have done it in a way that would have worked. Um, maybe by just coming up with a random concept, you give everyone cards, and each of those cards has like maybe a pattern on them,
Mm.
and say like pink and blue, and then they don't have the entire structure, and then they have to like maybe form small teams, or so you'd have say like 2 lines, pink pink, blue blue pink,
Yeah.
and then you'd have to form something using those cards, and then that would be the path you have to take. Or um, maybe like submission of the cards, so that there's like more of a politicking, social manipulation aspect to it. So you like feed it in, and then they place the panels based on how the cards were fed in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Something to actually have a game there.
yeah,
um, I mean, the other, as it comes for surviving the game, I can
well,
think of.
we have to make the assumption you can't stand on the beams, because literally
Yeah.
I would have just waddled across.
Oh, well, that was what my immediate thought was. They didn't say you had to step fully on a piece of glass or straddle the two pieces of glass. Keep your weight between both of them. Like,
Or step closer to the edge.
yeah.
Like if you're even if one glass is significantly weaker than the other, if your foot is, you know, half on the beam
Yeah.
where the glass is resting, like they didn't say you have to step in the middle of the glass.
Yeah, exactly. I honestly thought there was going to be something beyond the bit of drama to the having two people on a piece of glass, on a piece of tempered glass.
Yeah, like urgency.
Yeah, I was thinking there'd be something for urgency there, or
The
again,
glass being
that
blown up behind them.
yeah, or that could have been a way to again find a way to actually solve the game,
Mm.
right? That's what my immediate thought was, but nothing came of it. So yeah, this one here really just felt like, nope, we're just gonna find a way to kill everyone.
Yeah.
And that's what the VIPs wanted, which also doesn't make sense because they're betting on survivors. Like, they're. Yeah, as for the game it's based off of, yeah, the only thing I can think is hopscotch is
Hopscotch.
the closest to it, but like that's a loose connection, and that's just because you're jumping from one square to the other. No.
No, I've seen um like two railed hopscotches.
Yeah.
It's I think it was a cheap ploy to kill off 13 people.
Yeah. And that's the other aspect of it is like the tension in the game for the most part was gone as soon as 101 and 212 had their interaction.
Mm.
Because I'm like, oh, you've left the three characters. The first one is the clear antagonist now.
Yep.
The last one is the hero. Of course, 67 is going to survive. So there was just no tension at all around that anymore.
Just 67. Because of the writing in this one, I'm feeling like the ending scene is going to be 67 and 456 on a boat, like motorboat, driving into the sunset while the island explodes behind them.
Yeah, I kind of get that feeling too.
It's like straight out of an old Bond movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as winning the game, it's more chance than anything. I mean, I feel like I'd be able to see the differences. Uh, Mostly because being the nerd that I am, I've had a lot of experience dealing with tempered glass.
Um, I I was thinking the same thing. I'd be able to. I'd be. Let me rephrase it. I'd be able to see that there is a difference.
Mm.
Would I remember how those differences connect?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can only assume at this point we're either shutting down completely or like just numb and just moving,
Yeah,
like operating on instinct.
yeah. As the other thing, I think it would have been nice to see what the actual pattern of the glass was
Uh,
in its entirety at the end. Just to go, it's like, okay, was there some sort of pattern to it? Or did it follow, like
I'm I'm
when it switched or something like that?
I'm pretty sure it was something like uh left, right, 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 left, right, right, right,
Yeah,
left, right, right, right. I'm pretty sure it was something similar to that.
yeah, yeah,
Honestly, if someone breaks it down, it'll probably end up being like a children's tune,
yeah,
like ding, 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 ding.
yeah. Um, yeah, I would assume that too. Like something
Yeah.
along that lines. I think, but I'm saying these things with and clearly knowing that this is just me trying to make sense of this game.
Yeah.
um, yeah. Uh,
There honestly there could have been if they were if the writers were smart, what they would have done is made the pattern similar to the tune and then had the tune playing when they entered the room.
yeah.
Um, make it like a hyper difficult game in that manner.
Mhm.
But then no one was thinking about it that way.
Yeah.
I would like if that was included, and like if someone in the comments or at our discussions in our Discord um, can indicate to me that I'm right on this kind of like thought, that would be great. Otherwise, cheap.
Yeah. So I know I said this back, I think it was episode 5. Was it episode 5 or episode 6?
I can probably tell you. What'd
No,
you say?
episode 5. Um, where I was talking, I think it was 5. Yeah, 5 was the co-op episode. Um, this that was kind of the episode that we're like, I could see this going either way,
Yes.
and while we had some nice, like a little bit of good character moments here and there, I'm really starting to feel the show falling apart.
Yep.
And
This is giving me like Carol on Tuesday season 1 being the first half versus Carol on Tuesday season 2 being the second half of this season.
yeah,
Like it's it's going places. I don't know. I feel like they're struggling to put some messages into it, or uh, it also could be a production hell thing.
could be.
Because you said it was 8 or 9 episodes.
Yeah,
Could have been plotted out for 10 or 12.
could
So
have.
then it's
Yeah,
like we have to cut out all this stuff, rewrite the second half, and now we got killer hopscotch, and most of the people are dead instead of taking like an extra game.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It could be something like that. But it's not just. It's just episode 5 was basically useless.
oh no, we
Um,
got the handsome cop though.
yeah. Yes. Other than seeing the handsome cop for an
I,
episode.
I I'm I'm glad freaking obnoxious guy who doesn't know how to drink scotch freaking at least saw the same handsomeness that I saw.
Yeah. um,
That was
uh,
offensive to me. I'm sorry. Like
yeah.
the way that he drank scotch, I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah. um, I mean, the marbles game, again, the biggest thing that came out of that was just 101 and 456 interaction. We didn't really learn. Like, we've got some backstory, but I mean, nothing played out there that was unexpected. Just felt drawn out. This episode just, again, the game didn't make sense. I know we're going to jump into the VIPs. I'll segue into the VIPs. They were obnoxious and useless to be there, other than, showing how handsome the handsome cop was.
But it's important. You need to know how handsome the handsome cop is.
That's true. Even when only you see his eyes, they're so dreamy.
Yeah. No, they're there to show an upper crust that treats, human as animals or less than human.
I mean, literally as furniture.
I honestly, like, as an aesthetic, it looked really like cool, but
Yeah,
it definitely gave me like Capital City and the Hunger Games vibes.
yeah. Oh, for sure.
But
Um,
I'm
or
sorry,
just
when
the
you
elite
when you have a bunch of bad English speaking actors acting in something that's otherwise fairly well acted, like, take me out of the moment as soon as any of them were talking.
I agree, but I also forgive it. Just like I would forgive watching an American production with bad Korean.
Mm, no, I'm not. I wouldn't forgive that either.
Yeah, yeah. I think most people will kind of let that stuff slide because it's not,
Like,
if they even recognize it. Like, we're recognizing it, of course, because we happen to speak English natively,
yeah,
right? It might not be as jarring, uh, if you're there for the original audience that it would have been made for, because it is a Korean production completely, right?
true,
So,
true.
that's why I give that bit of forgiveness there.
Just let it be known, all those wealthy people's English acting was terrible. The Black Mask's English acting was far better.
Yes.
Uh, I mean, what they were doing with most of the VIPs, I don't know, pretty much
Yeah.
understandable. You knew exactly what they were from the
Yeah.
get go. They stayed on them probably too long.
I
Probably
think
gave
that's
them too many lines
way too many. I
yeah.
don't think it's
To express like a wealthy elite who doesn't care about uh, anyone or treats like the poor and well, I mean they were indebted, not technically poor. There is a difference
yeah.
as less than human. 20% of the screen time was needed.
Yeah. I mean, again, we didn't learn anything about these characters. It didn't move the story forward at all. It's like we knew there were VIPs that were involved in these games, and you're going to make the basic assumption that, oh, this is going to be the elite class playing games with people because they can,
I mean, they could have
right?
done so by just having like some faded glass and then you could see them watching.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Like, I mean,
It
things
was
like the purge does it better. It's like you get that few seconds with the elite, you know, rounding up, buying some, paying for some rabble,
a rabble.
and putting them in a garden to fight to the death and bet on it. It's like it was like a 30-second thing. It's all you needed.
Yeah.
It-
They it was weird because there was so much other stuff that they could have done with that time, like have an actual game.
yeah. Yeah.
So that was a big failing of the episode in my mind. It did It seems anything outside of the game just serves to be like tiny little plot points to push along this like cop storyline,
Yeah,
which we both think is so far unneeded.
yeah.
Uh, so it's kind of like having them have so many lines and uh, having what was he? Tiger? No, he was bear, wasn't he?
I think he was Bear. Yeah.
Um, Having him trying to get busy with handsome cop. Uh, oh, sorry, we call him G29 here.
Yeah.
Actually, I wrote down his name too. It was where was it? Oh no.
G29. Oh,
Oh, it was Huang Junho.
yeah.
Uh,
And,
yeah, just to be like, okay, now he has evidence of someone explaining the games, and no one's gonna believe this anyways. But uh,
okay, that is one thing they could have done to, maybe fix this up a little bit. Why not actually show the audience some of that explanation for the game?
well, I mean, they can be holding on to it. It's like it
I
could come
agree.
by
They could be.
later.
I'm assuming they're holding on to it because he was clearly filming it and such like that. They're doing too much of that, and it's cheapening the story.
Agreed. Agreed. I I do like how the fact that G29 is transitioning from different role to different role.
Mm-hmm.
From like, what was it, triangle to square
Yeah,
to uh, triangle again, and now like servant person.
yeah.
Next, I half expect him to be in body paint as a footstool. But
With a black or a black mask.
I thought he was gonna go Black Mask, but now more than ever, do I think that Black
Black
Mask
mask
is
is
his
his brother.
brother?
Yeah, I
And
wrote down the same thing.
yeah, because I said it. It was one of the things that I mentioned before, and I think it'll be the worst.
Yeah,
Um, it's too much of a leap, but on the other hand,
it's the only possible. It's the only possibility left.
yes,
That's the issue. It's that it's such a leap, and I hate it. But that's got to be what it is. There.
otherwise there's like a thread in this that has no point.
Otherwise, it makes the cop story even worse and
do,
less useful.
do you know what is fully awesome and fully useful? Architect theory.
Yep.
Oh, one is definitely owl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I agree. Um, I tried to see if there's wait. I didn't see anything completely obvious. It has to be.
hmm.
I think you're right. I was even trying to say it's like like they made it so like you just couldn't see the hair or anything with the mask on, but
He was
they
very,
were trying to obscure it so much that yeah, he's the architect.
yeah. There was it was a bit dark at the bottom and definitely very white or gray above that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was only like a glimpse I saw. But I'm like, it's at this point the temperature I have on the show is like I'm still enjoying it,
Yeah.
but it's clear we're on the downswing of quality.
Yeah.
The ending better be fantastic, otherwise this is gonna just be like so many things that are done after one season.
Mm. And it's funny because there's a lot of things that I've seen that are short series that are like, a season, like, 13, 26 episodes that they know the story they're going to tell and you can feel the pacing of it and it works out. Again, first season Carol Tuesday is a perfect example. Um, Uh, Trigun is a good example, right? Like these short series.
Yeah.
Your Lie in April is another one that I think I put on our list for a second wall at some point. Um, like it can be good, but you gotta, if you're going short like this, you should have it planned out because you don't have the room for error. You don't have the room to speed it up because you need it to fill in something that you forgot about or shorten it or um,
It's just
it's all
not
about
as,
pacing.
yeah, it's not as tight in the second half here.
Yeah,
As soon as that co-op episode hit, which they could have done something with, set
yeah.
something up, uh, but it's clear that, to me at least right now, that the episodes as they go is next episode is going to be our flashback episode.
I am. I agree with
It's,
you there.
yeah, there's going to be character exposition. They're going to talk about the histories of these three characters because that's all we have left. And I'm wondering, like, maybe Junho will actually make it back to mainland South Korea and be confronted by Black Mask is totally not his brother. Um, I mean, I don't really care for that storyline right now.
And that's the unfortunate part. Like again, the most of the stories that we've cared about since the beginning have been wrapped up already. The only thing that's really left to care about is the 218 reveal, which I'm doubling and tripling down on the reveal of him just
Stolen
taking
test
from
theory.
456. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I it
I I can be pretty super smart sometimes, and I for what this show wants to be, there's not enough red herrings.
yeah.
There's not enough random threads that take you on a wild goose chase.
Yeah.
I think their best writing, at least, has probably been with 218. And I might not even be correct on that statement. Like, I'd have to watch it again, but 218's, I might like 218's character as it is. Like, as a whole, not that I like the character,
Yes.
um, because of the acting.
Yeah. I I agree. I like the acting and he's selling to me how
How we, like,
how he is.
yeah.
Like I can see the through line like right from the beginning. Like as soon as he was introduced, like in the first episode, I'm like, oh, what did this? So what was his scumbag thing to get here?
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I said. So it's one of those things where it's not a surprise, and it's been consistent throughout. And they again started out subtly by having them all choose a different honeycomb, right? Something that made sense in retrospect, but could have easily been passed off and not seen as manipulative. Um,
There's one thing I just realized.
hmm,
Black Mask,
yeah,
or uh,
frontman.
Frontman, B29's totally not
Yeah,
his brother.
yeah.
Uh, I actually wrote down he's wearing an old school Casio. He showed his watch, but it
Hmm,
didn't look like a wealthy person's watch.
you're right.
Uh, in addition, it was quite obvious that he had a knowledge of firearms
Mhm.
and what a cop would have.
Yeah.
I don't know if that information is correct. They made it the way he stated it made sure it was correct. I don't know what kind of firearms South Korean police officers have.
They said it with enough authority that I
Yeah,
buy it.
yeah, I buy
I
it.
buy it.
Um, so I'm wondering. I mean, if they came out with the brother was in the military, got over his head, and then um was far enough that he could like command a force, and then it turns out that he got picked by these this shadowy elite to
Yeah.
run this death game, which don't know if you had noticed the phrasing. What was it? The Korean game is the best one.
Mm.
They made implications that there's other games.
Which I theorized.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that was stated.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm like, I mean, originally we thought the next episode was going to be the last one,
Yeah.
but apparently there's nine. Um, I'm glad the next episode is not the last one
Mm.
because I have no like, grip my armrest. I want to watch this now feeling.
Yeah.
I got this like, what the heck are they doing?
Yeah. And that I'm gonna segue for a sec. This is the state of a lot of new media lately has left me with this similar type feeling. So, what are you like, Curly? What are you doing? And the fact that, you know, in my feed on YouTube and such, and all I'm seeing is like the praise of this show. And in the back of my mind, I'm going, it's like, have you lost all semblance for storytelling?
No, I think they only watched the first four episodes.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense. Because, and I see it all the time. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of the movies we do on the media club side of things, like they tend to be a bit older movies. I mean, most of that's just the way we pick the movies, but the only movies that are like super new, I guess nobody. Again, we picked because I'd heard a lot of good about it,
Yeah.
but we were left with the same underwhelming feeling. And the other new movies that we have was like, I mean, an anime that we have on our docket here soon.
I'm looking forward
And
to that one.
yeah, and it's because we found a cool music video. Like it's the whole reason we added it to the list. And nothing's exciting. Like this here looked exciting, and I just feel like it's falling apart. And
Well, I'm wondering because
it worries me.
originally uh, in this time slot, yeah, in this time slot, we were going to watch Home,
Sweet Home. Yeah.
Sweet Home, uh, and then I saw the trailer for this, and this was before there was any hype, and I was
Yeah.
like, dude, this looks really cool. Like this looks right up our alley.
Yeah.
Um, and again, first four episodes. I mean, I feel like I'm drawing the line really early, but next episode, definitely a flashback episode. The one after it, the conclusion. And if those two are not done exactly right, the entire series falls flat.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I don't care what kind of messaging like a person perceives from uh, this film. It's not enough if it's a bad story.
Yeah.
It's it's kind of like the Little Hours. They had everything and squandered it.
Yeah.
Of course, in the Little Hours, um, they had everything and squandered it
Yeah.
because such comedic elites and just Not a very funny film.
No.
I still liked it, but
Yeah. In,
um,
in a way, it's backwards because, like, at least at the end of Little Hours, it started to come together a bit. Here, it started together, and I was like, oh, yeah, here's the rope unfraying. Or fraying, rather.
yeah, it's if 8-9 can go back to how it felt in 1 to 4. But so far our predictions are stolen test theory, 218 took from 456, therefore securing him in SNU, and then of course because of lack of qualifications, he would have misinvested and lost money.
Yeah.
6-7 won't apply to that. She has her own story. We have architect theory
Yeah.
and brother Huang theory.
Yeah. Um,
And boat into the sunset theory.
Yep.
Well, the island explodes.
yeah.
It's funny, like I was thinking about this the other day. People who have already seen this series, and then if they listen to us, I think it would be so funny for them to be like, "Oh, he doesn't know how right he is," and he's like, or, "Oh wow, like he's way off." Like I think that would be super entertaining.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, they've got their work cut out for them in the next two episodes.
It's
And
gonna be hard.
like and I mean, even if they're done with perfection, in my mind, all I can go is like, and again, I said this before, I've seen this concept, I've seen it done better. And those middle chunks is just, even if they nail it with the next two episodes, I think episodes 5, 6, and 7 just leave such a bad taste right now.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, like even an angel,
mhm.
the wealthy elites stole the or like kidnapped all the monsters and then forced them to fight for the entertainment, right?
Yeah.
Like it was 43 minutes of uh Angel before it got good. And so
Yeah.
far it's already told this story better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, bring back bring back episodes 1 through 4. And
Yeah.
bring back 199, damn it.
I know, right? Thanks for huddling around the second wall with us here tonight. Join us next time as we continue our discussion on Squid Game. Please join the conversation in the comments, in social media, or on our Discord, as we would love to continue the conversation there. Again, a full list can be found at beardyandthebeast.com. Thank you, and have a great night.